Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks, and make sure you don't go anywhere because this is an awesome game. Trust me, this is a very good game and you are definitely going to want to watch it. So, today we are playing in the T50-2, the first ever well-deserved reward that we got, and that's just basically you get it for having an account for so many years. I think it was like 5 years or something a couple of years ago, and then as soon as your account gets to 5 years of service, you get a T50-2. This thing obviously used to be in the game a very long time ago, and I've got kind of like the OG skin on it. There was a skin that you could get for OG, and that could have been a very different game if I wouldn't have come back from that. No idea how, don't ask me how the physics work, but hey ho. Anyway, so we're in the T50-2, and I'd like to point out right here, right now, I feel like I'm going to go into Fatboy Slim. Right here. Right, no, anyway. I did not know I had gold loaded. I didn't realise I loaded gold. I must have accidentally hit my 2 key. Something like that. I'm honestly not really sure how I managed it, how I did it, but for the first like half of this game I'm going to have gold loaded. However, that is nearly going to come back to bite me in the arse at the end, so, you know, karma comes around. Now, T50-2, what is this thing all about? It is a tier 6 Russian light tank. It has a, what is it, 56mm gun? 57mm gun. And I actually ammo rack that stood there, which saves me a shot, which is quite nice. 57mm gun, so it doesn't do the greatest amount of damage. It's only 85 average damage. Standard rounds have 118mm a pen. The premium rounds have 165. It's obviously a very quick tank. But having that 85 average damage can sometimes be a little bit awkward. Not so much in this matchup because, as I'm sure you can probably see, we're on Paris, and I have got the pièce de la great of matchups. Bit of French there for you all. Yeah, I've got the just greatest matchup ever. We're against tier 5s and tier 4s, but even in this kind of matchup, having only 85 average damage isn't great because it means you have to shoot things so many times. Like, for example, that M8A1. He's a tier 4 tank destroyer, so he's really low on health. And I'd shoot him, what, 5 times? 4 or 5 times? I did ram him a bit as well, so, you know, quite a lot. Now, so far, we've picked up 3 kills, and I'm trying to get this Cromwell out. This Cromwell's probably one of the most dangerous tanks in this game, and there he is. Now, Cromwell hasn't got the best gun handling, so I'm going to play... Can you shoot me? Hey, Cromwell, can you shoot me? Just pokey. He's really struggling. He realizes that he has to come towards me. Again, I'm still firing APCR. No idea why. Like I said, I don't need to be, but... And by the time... Bearing in mind that Cromwell was full health, and he could have quite easily killed me, because all he needed to do was put 3 shots in. To be fair, he only needed high roll 2 shots, because I get left on 5 hit points. All he needed to do was just rush me and put 3 shots in, and I was dead. But I managed to get him down to a point where he only had time to put 2 shots into me as he actually got into a position to shoot me, which was quite nice. Now, Paris is kind of a... Again, for the T50-2 is not a great map because you've got such low alpha. You can't poke a corner, do damage, and then run away and do that much damage because you're only doing 85 per shot. So you have to kind of hope that you get people's turrets facing the wrong way and then put 2 or 3 into them without them looking. For example, this M10, we've seen he just fired, put 1, 2, and 3 in, finish him off. That's the whole reason I came around the back here, was to try and get this T10 in a crossfire because I knew, T10, M10, because he would be coming down here to try and shoot our heavies in the back. Well, heavy and tank destroyer now. So I was like, right, well, I'm going to try and get to a point where I can stop that. And, again, looking at my map, I'm now having to relocate again because looking at it, all of our 3 artillery are absolutely 100% just in the open. It's not great. And then I'm like, well, there's a Valentine AT. Probably should try and get their heavy tanks out first because, you know, there's more of them. And then the Wolverine dies, and I'm like, okay, well, there's still a KV2. And I'm like, try and get some shots. No, the KV-1 looks like he's backing off. It's just, I'm running out of places to go. Our Stug 3 dies, and this is where I actually go, right, well, someone needs to go back and at least try and deal with whatever's attacking our arty. Fortunately, the kills the MP43, but we have to go back. I have to go back because I need to try and kill this MT25. This MT25 is going to be the biggest problem for me for the rest of this game. Everything else is either slow or doesn't have a quick rate of fire or it's tier 4. The MT25, if he catches me and he is solely focused on me, then I am in trouble. Fortunately, we get lucky, we set him on fire, and Artie does hit him as well. The fire only saves us having to do one shot, but it was definitely worth. That's something you need to do in endgame situations. If you have got teammates left, even if you can't save them, and this is kind of a selfish thing to do, but if you think you have a chance of winning the game and you know your teammates are going to die, try and use the fact that the enemy is distracted in trying to kill them to allow you to kill whatever the enemy that's doing it. Try and, like, people will, again, I nearly roll it. People will hard focus on artillery. If they're killing Artie, they'll be like, right, I want to kill Artie. So you can take advantage of that. So, again, Panzer 3J. I know my KV2's in trouble, but he's already pretty much been circled. I'm trying to get a better angle on the Panzer 3J, because, again, I don't want to just rush him. I'm on 5 hit points at the end of the day. I cannot afford to just go charging in on 5 hit points. You need to use the fact that RT is distracting and make it so that you can then put damage in. So the fortunately for me, puts a shot in, puts him onto 141 health, and then all we need to do is wait for him to get into a position we can shoot him. 1 and 2, and we finish him off, taking out the 5th last enemy tank left alive. And then unfortunately for me, the KV-1 kills the KV-2, which means I'm in a 1 versus 4. Which is kind of annoying because it wasn't a 1 versus 5. If only that KV-1 would have killed the KV-2 just before I killed the Panzer 3J. Now, I'm just going to pause the game here a second. To be fair, we may as well make the thumbnail picture while I'm talking. We are left alive against... apparently I can't multitask. We're left alive against 2 artillery, a Matilda and a KV-1. In a T50-2, not the scariest things in the world. However, we know where the Matilda and the KV-1 are. They are not exactly quick tanks. They are down here at the heavy flank, so even if they try and come straight towards me, it's going to take them probably a minute to get over here. If they try and go for the cap, they're going to go for about, again, probably about 30 seconds before they get into the cap. The position I'm in now, I need to go for Artie. I'm only on 5 hit points. It doesn't bloody matter if they're tier 4 Artie. If they splash anywhere near me, I am dead. So I have to get Artie out if I want to have a chance of being able to win this game. Because if I'm moving around, if I'm trying to relocate. Yeah, trying to relocate, like if the enemies are capping, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's called foreshadowing. It's not, it's just called telling you what happens, really. Then you don't want to be in a position where you have to dodge around where Artie's shooting at you. And I have no idea what kind of view range this tank has, but apparently shocking. Or if not the tank, that guy in particular, because that must have been like, what, 200 meters, and he didn't spot me. Need to look for the other, was it Panzer something 4B. And this time, instead of trying to use a bush, because I know I was spotted and he started aiming at me, we just need to drive. You need to drive, you need to get around him. We get around him, we finish him off. Now, what is the next thing I can do? What is happening in my head right now? I'm thinking, like I said, 2 options. These guys have, 3 options, sorry. These guys have either both gone cap. They're both probably coming up this way to try and get me, in which case they can either go this way, or they can go this way. More than likely this way to try and cut me off if I come back, or they can see if I go round. Or they can both go to cap. Or they could split. But I'm thinking if they split, then it's not as much of an issue for me. So I need to think of one of the worst case scenarios, which is they both go somewhere together. What's it going to be? I'm thinking if I push across the back here, get into this position down here somewhere, I can then, if they've gone up here, I can outspot them. It's only a KV-1 and Matilda at the end of the day. I'm in a T50-2. Easy outspot. Also, if I start heading this way and they start capping, I'm around the cap in about in the right amount of time. If I start going down here and they start capping, I then have to go a more direct route to the cap. I'm not going to be in quite as good position to reset. And boom, there we go, 1 in the cap. It's a good thing that I started going back. And there we go, 2 in the cap. So that only gives me 45 seconds. Now, you can see me a bit of indecisiveness here. I don't know whether to go up to the middle. I don't know whether to just come right the way down. But my option was, in my head, come right the way down and poke this bit here, because they're going to have to cross a bit of distance before they can get to me, and I can probably get out quick enough. Again, across this bit, aim up, make sure I have a look to see if I can see them. Only 22 seconds. Like I said, if I'd have gone the wrong way here, the game would be done by now. I wouldn't be able to get back in time, probably. 15 seconds. Again, kind of cautiously move up. Try and use the bush wherever possible. There's the Matilda. Aim it, and we reset the cap, but don't do any damage to the Matilda. Cool, that means the KV-1 is in front of the Matilda. We put a couple into the KV-1 blind, I'm pretty sure. And now we are hold down. We're using the same trick as we did against the Cromwell. They can only see the very top of my turret. I can see the tops of their turret, but I can pen it more. Now, you might think, well, the KV-1's the more dangerous tank, Max. Why are you not going for the KV-1? And that is because 2 versus 1, no fun. 1 versus 1, however, much more fun. If they're both in the cap and I have to disengage, get unspotted, and then I have to come back towards the cap if they continue to cap, because otherwise they get a cap. Having 2 left alive means the cap timer is a lot shorter, gives me a lot less options. For example, if I only reset there, I'd probably only be able to make it to here, so I'd only be able to go between these 2 places. If there's 2 left alive as well, 1 can aim at each, and then 5 hit points, I'm in the ship. Try and focus 1 tank out, it gives me 1.5 minutes. That means I've got most of the options of what angles I can come at from the cap. Simple as that. And it makes it a lot easier, because it makes it more likely that you're going to be able to find a way that they're not looking. So, fire 1, I see the KV-1 fires. I know that gives me time to at least attempt to put another shot in, and this is where I've run out of APCR. Again, if I'd have noticed at the start of the game, I was running out of APCR. I could have, I would have not fired so much and probably been better off here. Now, did you see me there? As I was getting unspotted, again, terrible driving, Max. My bad driving could have quite easily cost me this game. Oh god, sorry. Yeah, like the use of APCR at the beginning of the game was not necessary, and I could have really done with it. Now it's KV-1. It's sometimes a bit tricky to pen, so the APCR would be nice. Fortunately for me, I come around this side of the building. I used kind of like, as I was getting unspotted, I drove really weirdly, and oh look, there's a KV-1 pushing a Matilda. So I blind fire once behind him, not really sure what that shell went, and then he pushes the Matilda's wreck out into a position where he can be spotted, and we pick up our 11th kill of the game. 11. That's the joint highest kills I've ever got in water tanks. I've never had 12. This is joint highest 11. I think I got 11 in one other tank, but I can't remember what it was. It's probably on my YouTube channel somewhere. Go have a look. Tell me what it was. Yeah, 11 kills and 3,631 damage that we saw. I'd be happy with that in a tier 10, and we're, you know, playing that at tier 6. With a tank that only has 85 alpha. Winning a 1 versus 4, like I said, shame it's not a 1 versus 5. 35,000, well, 36,000 WN8. Nice. Yeah, that's just a mad game. Like, I understand, I get it, before everyone's like, well, of course you could do well, it's a tier 4 game. But if it was guaranteed that you could play this well every time you got a tier 6 tank into a tier 4 game, people could be getting pools medals every day. And you don't see that happen, do you? And to be on 5 hit points as well, like I said, my driving let me down for a lot of that game. Absolutely trash driving. Like at the start, we almost rolled it. If I'd have lost hit points there, or if I'd have rolled my tank and not been able to get up, that would have been it. GG. You'd never seen this game. This game would never have happened. But fortunately, as it goes, it did. And now I put it on YouTube, and you'll get to enjoy it. So, that is all she wrote for that game, guys. I don't know what more you want. Like, you know, Ryzen Eyes. Like I said, to be fair, I would have wanted a Kolobanovs. because that'd have been a nice Colobanos, and I feel like it was practically a Colobanos, but obviously I can't make it 1 versus 5 earlier than it is. But yeah, so if you have enjoyed the video, guys, if you have enjoyed the replay, make sure you give the video a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Whether you're a new or an old subscriber, make sure you have notifications turned on so you know when I upload. And that, let me know down in the comments, do you think you could have finished off the game like this? Do you think you'd have choked under the pressure? Or is there anything that I could have done better in this game? Let me know so that I know. For everything is learning. Even this many games in that I've played, I'm still want to learn more and more and more about the game and learn more and more and more how I can get better at the game. Anyway, let's not start waffling again. Let's go take a look at the post-game stats. Well, that is certainly a result screen. We got an ace tanker. Really? You surprised me. Pascucci's medal for killing 2 enemy SPGs. I don't really know what actually happened to the third. I didn't kill it, so I don't really know where it was. Paul's medal for getting 10 kills or more, which is nice because I got 11 as well, which is very nice. Defender as well. I'm pretty sure I reset the cap like 100 and something. Oh no, it only ever tells you 100, but over 100 base defense points. High caliber and top gun. Funnily enough, in this result's probably the least interesting. 3,700. Oh, I put 3.8. I just guessed. I couldn't remember how many blind shots I put. 3.7k damage, 11 kills, and 1,973 base XP. Didn't quite break the 2k XP barrier, but yeah, that's fairly mental. 57 shots fired, 51 hit, 47 pen. That was pretty good. And I lost 91,000 credits because I'm stupid and fired a load of APCR at the beginning accidentally. Although I probably wouldn't have made profit that game anyway. Because the T50-2, something I didn't realise, isn't actually a premium. It doesn't make bonus credits, which is kind of upsetting. And also, just an interesting little point, every single vehicle that I damaged that game, I killed. There wasn't a single vehicle that I damaged that I didn't kill. The only thing that I bounced a shot off that guy? Did I really? No idea when I did that. But yeah, just an interesting little point. But anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Like I said, do all that funky YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, notifications, blah, 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 blah. Let me know in the comments, like I said before, whether you think you could have done better, what I could have done better, anything like that. And hopefully I will see you soon, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.